So it's very interesting, Lewis, this story, and people have been talking about it a lot. So it was your suggestion, wasn't it, to do a talent show for the end of term, which was widely accepted by the staff. They thought it was a great idea. And you told them that you were going to do your drag act. So at that point, nobody had a problem with it?
Yeah.
What did they say to you then?
Originally, they said, oh, you can do it, it's fine. And then eventually, the day before the talent show, they said I wasn't able to do it since age, gap.
So they said that you were too young, basically, at 14. How long had you been preparing for this? And tell us what the act is, because we want to kind of think, you know, people to know, do they think it's inappropriate? I
was going to be lip-syncing and dancing to a mix of songs that I did with my stepdad, Dale. Right. And also... I don't know what to say.
So you'd practice the whole routine?
Yeah.
You'd put the music together. I mean, you spent a lot of time.
Yeah, I spent around 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time, and I think it's really appropriate to say as well, the songs that you'd chosen, you know, they're very well-known songs as well. You'd even edited the tracks as well to make sure if there was any words that maybe weren't age-appropriate or anything like that that came out, and like you said, Dal, your lovely stepdad, he helped you do that as well. But then Natalie, obviously Lewis comes home and says, they've said I can't do it.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction to this?
A bit gobsmacked, to be honest. He'd been practising in school. He'd even taken his high heels in, practising with a teacher there. But obviously, with lack of communication in the school, the head teacher didn't find out until the Friday before it was actually a drag act Lewis was doing.
Right.
Which she said she spoke to a legal team and under no circumstances could they support Lewis doing the drag act due to legal reasons of his age.
Due to legal reasons is what you were told?
Yeah, I mean, it's not...
By the age of 21 or 18, she stated he couldn't perform a drag act.
Well, the initial statement we had, this is Castle High School, the initial statement we had, it's very, very long, but basically they said it's inappropriate for someone of Lewis's age to perform a drag act. We went back to them this morning saying, you know, could you define what inappropriate means? And they said, well, it's not age-appropriate for the audience, not just for you, the performer, because this was an end-of-term concert for the whole school, wasn't it? Which means they're from age 11. So they're saying they weren't just thinking about you, age 14. They thought it was inappropriate for the intended audience.
But then there's something here that really got me, and how it works here is we get a little brief pack where you've obviously chatted to some of our researchers and stuff like that. And there was something this morning that actually made me well up a little bit, didn't it? I was very emotional about it because you turned around and said... A question was asked to you to say, you know, did you get bullied at school? Was people really unsupportive of you? Did they find it offensive? And you said, not one person did. Actually, everyone in the school supports me.
Yeah.
8 people dropped out of the talent show when they heard that I weren't allowed to do that. And I just think that... I mean, it's just like giving me chills now. That statement now, for a 14-year-old boy, to sit there and say that, who I know you've said, you know, you are openly gay as well, to sit there at your age and say that and have that response, I think just shows in leaps and bounds how much people of your age now are accepting of sexuality, of interest, of art, of things like that. Yet the school have turned round, who is this establishment, and said they don't agree with it, and have now turned round this morning and said that they feel that the other children... What do
you think, Natalie? Do you think they're concerned about other parents? Because, you know, Lewis has said his peers don't have a problem with it, his friends, his year group, they're all very accepting of what he does.
He's had a great support off his friends at school. By a couple of the teachers, he had some good support while he was practising. It just baffled me how he's been practising for 3 weeks and nobody had let the head teacher know what kind of act Lewis was doing. So I just don't understand where they got the law from. I tried to research the law when Lewis came home that day.
They say that they didn't say that it's because it was against the law.
She told me on the phone. I actually called her on the Tuesday morning and she told me she'd spoken to her legal team and she stated it was illegal for Lewis to take part.
Well, they're denying this. They're not here, obviously. We did speak to them this morning. But in terms of the law, there's no official law which prevents under 18s from performing in drag. However, private venues, particularly nightclubs, may prevent performances by minors, which is understandable.
We understand
because
because they're clubs for adults.
But then on the flip side, if the school's going to class itself as a private venue, no children should be performing in this.
What is the reaction been, Lewis? Well, you know, what kind of support? Who have you been hearing from? How are you feeling about everything now?
Now, after the whole situation, I feel a lot better. I've had lots of support from friends and family, and now even fans, thanks to all this. I have been offered so many things, like perform with some of the greatest drag queens that
Have
I've
you?
seen.
Like where?
I'm doing a performance at Tens Across the Board in Birmingham.
You're doing Tens
with-
Across the Board?
Yeah.
Is that a
Amazing.
RuPaul? Is that
Yeah.
RuPaul?
If you're a Drag Race
And then
fan,
I'm
no.
doing Drag World UK as well next August on the 19th.
Which is
So actually, so,
fantastic.
so out of this, but not being able to perform,
Yeah.
you've ended up performing even more.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, I suppose, isn't it? How do you see your future? Like when you leave school, what would you like to do?
I'd like to become a professional drag queen, and obviously I'll have a job on the side, hopefully. And the reason I actually brought out my story was to help others that are in my position to say that it's okay to be different and be proud of who you are.
Do you know
and how
what?
does it help you doing what you do?
It helps me a lot because originally in my last school I didn't have that much support, and now I've moved to this school, I've got a lot of support.
Do you know what? I've got to say, I think you are amazing. I really, really
Thank
do.
you.
And if I had half the confidence as what you do at 14 years old to be
14.
who I wanted to be and stuff like that, I'd be very, very happy with myself. I think you're amazing.